Hey everybody, BrickLover18 here today with another episode of Ask Brick. Ask Brick, of course, is my Q&A show here on YouTube where you ask me questions down in the comments below and I answer them here on video. Last episode I tried a new format where I'm actually trying to be more visual with this show. I don't just want to talk the whole time, I want to actually show you things as well, and it seemed to be a great success, so I'm going to continue that with this episode. We've got lots of great questions here, so let's just get right into it. Alright, so the first question is from Francis Basin, Lego City Star Wars Stan. Ask Brick, what modular building do you think Lego should bring back? Mine personally would be the Fire Brigade, the Town Hall, and the Palace Cinema. So Francis, I think that is a really good question. So for me personally, I would have to agree with you on the Fire Brigade and the Town Hall. I think those are two ones that I really missed out on. But instead of the Palace Cinema, because I do own that one and I think it's just alright, I would have to say I want to bring back the Lego Grand Emporium. And I'm going to take you over to my city now to kind of give a little bit more explanation why I want those three modulars to come back.
Alright, so the reason I said the sets, I chose the modular buildings that I did are for a variety of reasons. So first up, I want the Grand Emporium to come back because I think this set is incredible. This is my very first modular building ever, and I think it is one of the nicest detailed on the outside. Obviously the inside is something else, but at least on the outside it is amazing looking. And looking back, if I would have been a few years older when I got this set, I would have probably liked to buy one or two more copies of it, just because I think this set is so versatile, and I easily could have expanded it and made like a whole city block just with this set, kind of like you see like Macy's do and stuff like that. I think it would have been so cool to have. Personally, the Palace Cinema is alright, but I just can't, I have it now. I'm really glad I have it. Lego hasn't really done a set like that since, but I'm not dying to go out and get it. And I think one of the reasons why I like the Grand Emporium so much is because if you got two Palace Cinemas, you'd have to do a lot of work to make it look right. It would look weird if you just put two side by side. But the Grand Emporium, you could put two side by side, you could stack it tall, there's so much you could do with this set, and I think it would really work. And a lot of the other modular buildings I think that we've gotten in the last few years, as you can see, they just don't have the same style as the Grand Emporium did. I couldn't take two. I guess I could with the gas station if you wanted to do some renovations, but it would look weird. The pet shop's a good one, but it's a few years old. Even the bookstore, I can't just take two bookstores and put them side by side or easily make one big bookstore from it. It would take a lot of extra work and planning. The Grand Emporium was just so versatile. And I think I'd really like to get the modular Fire Brigade and the Town Hall, because those are two sets that I think would look really great in my city. I know the Grand Emporium is a set my dad always wanted. It would look really cool, and if I had the opportunity I would get it. And then of course just the Town Hall, because we haven't really got a nice big modular building like that since, something so massive, and I just think those two sets would look great in my Lego city. But any of the old ones, like the Market, even the Green Grocer, they're cool looking, but the Green Grocer I guess I'd like to come back a lot because it's a cool set. But for the most part, those are the three that I would really like to see. Don't really care about the Market Village and stuff like that.
Brick Stuff All Kinds of Brick asked, and he asked this question in response to the video I made about my experience working at the Lego store. He said, what should you do to get the job? And this is a great question. I actually announced yesterday or 2 days ago now that I'm doing my Storytime series. I of course haven't chosen a name for that, but basically one of the episodes I do want to do in the future is telling my time working at the Lego store, because I think my experience was pretty unique. But before, I won't tell you my full story right now, but Brick Stuff All Kinds of Bricks, I will say what I did to get the job was, first off, I applied online. I found their listing on the Lego store website. I believe I applied there, or I may have even applied to Indeed Jobs, just like a Canadian job site. It might be international, but I know it's Canadian for sure. I just applied for the job. I included my resume. I probably included a cover letter or something like that. I don't even really remember. For retail jobs, you don't often have to include a cover letter, but I did include a resume, and I got an interview. I wasn't able to make the group interview, and I had something that I genuinely couldn't skip on. I don't remember what it was now, but I just know it was something that I wasn't allowed to miss. So I couldn't go to the group interview, but the manager at the time actually said I could meet with her the next day at the store. So I went to the store, commuted all the way there. When I got there, it was just a regular interview. I did express my interest in Lego, but I didn't make that the only reason why they should hire me. Because if they ask you, why should I hire you? And you say, well, I love Lego. Okay, great, but what do you get? It's business, you know what I mean? Working at the Lego store, and I knew that they wanted to play it like that. It's not an attraction. It's not like you're trying to make an experience for them. It's a store. You're trying to sell things. Good experience is really important, but it's a store. It's not an attraction. So I went and I said I have good customer service experience. I have used a point of sale terminal. I problem solve, can work under pressure, all that kind of things to get you any retail job. I pretended it wasn't the Lego store. I pretended this was a regular retail job. She asked me a lot of questions. I chatted with some of the other employees there as well. I dressed professionally and again, just brought my resume and really amplified my skills of why I'd be good for this retail job. And I didn't think the interview went well. And I'll talk about that in my story time video. Thought it went awful. I didn't think I got the job at all. And then I also, there's one key component where you have to build something. So that's kind of where you get to show off your love of Lego. But when you're applying for the job, you should definitely focus on the skills that would get you any retail job and kind of forget that it's at the Lego store. I think that is key. It's important to have some Lego passion, but 90% of the people who worked at my store did not care that it was Lego. They just really liked that a place to work. I liked the part that it was Lego, but they weren't Lego fans, if that makes sense. So really go off the skills that would get you any retail job. Bob's Build asked Brick, what camera do you recommend for a new Lego YouTuber? So this is a great question, and I would have to say, first off, there's no one size fits all to this question. Like, it really depends on the YouTuber, but I would say, what do you want to do for YouTube? Are you looking to film videos like this where you're just talking to a camera? Do you want to film more professional review videos? Are you just here to film like Lego City updates and vlogs and room tours and stuff like that? All those are really different. So for example, if you're looking to just film like vlog style videos, hauls, things like that, honestly, just use your phone. I got my phone here. This is the phone I just actually dedicate to Lego. Like, it's only Lego accounts on this, only Lego footage, stuff like that. This phone is great for stuff like that. So if I'm gonna film a city update, or I'll use this when I'm filming my Ask Brick videos, or I go off camera and film behind the scenes like you just saw with the city. I use this. If I'm filming a haul video, sometimes I use this. Other options would be, of course, a more professional camera like this.
I personally use this camera for filming videos like this because it allows me to see myself in the monitor. Of course, I can see my questions here, and it also allows me to control it right here with this tablet, which is pretty cool. This is definitely, oh, it cut out there. Sometimes it does that, but this is definitely a more professional camera. I would also recommend this one if you were going to be making Lego review videos and things like that, because it just allows you to change the color scheme more. It allows you to zoom in and really focus in. The audio is also really great on this. So this is a Canon T6i DSLR camera. I would highly recommend this one for any more professional videos. If you just want to make haul videos or anything like that, you don't need a camera like this. You could definitely get away without it. But if you want to make a lot of like high quality review videos and things like that, I personally I like this one quite a bit. I like it a lot. I've had it for several years now. And of course, as you can see, I really decked mine out with the monitor and the setup there. But you could also do something very similar to this with just a webcam. So you don't need a DSLR if you're just going to film like live streams and things like videos of you sitting here talking. But I personally like this one because it's kind of like an all-in-one camera. I film reviews on it, and I film any videos where I'm here at my desk, because I also film the reviews right here. But in addition, like any city updates and stuff like that, I either film on my phone, like I already mentioned, or I also sometimes use this camera. So this is what the T6i looks like from behind the camera here, but this is also a really good one. This is an EOS M100. I bought this one last year, and I've used it quite a bit. This one's a good one because it's got a detachable lens as well. I use this for sub-haul videos, so I can set it up on a tripod quite nicely. A lot of handheld shots. My recent room tour was completely filmed on this one. I really go between using this one and using the iPhone. It really just depends on what it is. If I'm making just a quick video that I don't need to do a lot of editing to, I'm going to use the iPhone. If there's anything a little bit more professional, or I want to be able to control the settings a little more, I'm definitely going to use this one. And a fourth camera that I actually kind of forgot because I just recently started using that I think would be a good one for YouTubers would be a GoPro. So I use this one for a lot of different things. I use it to film my city updates. I use it to sometimes just do handheld shots, or when I'm building the Lego City. And I also use it to put on my head for a Bricklink order. But I've seen a lot of YouTubers start out with using just a GoPro. If I was just starting again tomorrow, doing the exact same thing I do on my channel now, I would definitely start off by getting this Canon DSLR again, because it honestly does everything. And then of course, as I grew a little bit bigger, that's when I started integrating my phone here and some of these other cameras. But definitely, I think it's no one size fits all, but giving you a little overview of what I use for my cameras, I think is just like the most helpful there. I use the 4 different cameras. Each one really does serve a different purpose, but if you're really starting out and you want to do similar videos like what I mentioned, a DSLR is always a good one to invest in.
Sorry about that. That was a long-winded question, that's for sure. I could talk about cameras all the time. But this next question is from Sir Bricks. Ask Brick, what do you think about Lego having so many different prices around the world? For example, Razor Crest is about 200 USD here. So honestly, this question, I don't think I'm qualified to answer it because I'm not an economics major, but I understand the differences of Lego price around the world because it's not, like, Lego's not choosing the price, it's based on the currency. And this is something that was hard to explain for me because I know a lot of Americans don't necessarily get it the same way we do in Canada. So for example, $1 American, $1 USD equals about $1.30 to $1.40 American. So if there's something for $100, 100 USD, if I want to buy 100 USD, it's going to cost me 140 Canadian dollars. So there is a conversion rate. So that's why you might have a set in US that's $199 or something. Yeah, $199 to make it even, but here in Canada it might cost $249 because there's the exchange rate. It's different. However, that being said, Lego is cheaper here in Canada. It's more expensive without the exchange rate because if you're just looking at the two different prices, obviously Canada is higher. But with the exchange rate, Lego's cheaper here. And our minifigures are a prime example of that. They are $4.99 American, which is about $5 to $6 Canadian prices, but they're still only $4.99 Canadian. So we're saving like $2 a minifigure by buying them here. So that's why there's some things, like if you go on vacation to the States, you've got to be careful what you buy. I'm not going to buy a $199 modular building if I can buy the same modular building in Canada for $230, because I would have to pay at least $260 to get that modular building, but most likely $270 to $280. Same thing, like if I'm buying minifigures, I'm obviously going to buy a $4.99 minifigure here than a $4.99 minifigure in the US because I don't want to pay the exchange rate. So I completely understand why Lego has currency conversions. It literally, it makes sense. So when I say this is a set that's $249 or whatever the price is of a set, and it's more expensive than USD, yes, it's because it is more money in our dollar. But when you compare the $2, it's cheaper for us in Canada. So if you're near the border or anything, I recommend buying your Lego sets in Canada, obviously when they reopen. But no, if you want to learn more about exchange rates, I don't have any of the answers, so definitely do some research there. But it's definitely necessary for Lego to have so many different prices around the world, because if they didn't, then the price would differ so much. Like if they just kept the price $200 flat across the world, it would cost $200 American, but then here it would only cost $120. So Lego would be missing out a huge bunch of that money. So the exchange rates are necessary for Lego for sure. But anyway, thanks everybody so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed all the questions here about Ask Brick. I hope I was able to provide you a little bit more insight into, my YouTube hobby, hopefully getting you that job at the Lego store, and even giving them some insight about what I do to film and what cameras I would recommend. So thanks again so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to like, comment, and of course subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.